from the trip. The bike has been sitting for a little while. It did a good job, but we beat it up a little bit. I think I knocked the ignition, I didn't time it right at the beginning, or we knocked it out somehow. But yeah, it's not the best start. So that's what we're actually going to do today, is we're going to bring it back to life again for I don't know how many times. But we're going to fix the ignition, do some oil. I don't know. Let's go. Let's do it. I'll talk when we go. So granted, I don't know a lot about spark plugs, but I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be almost touching the, what is that diode there? See how close it is? You can barely see the gap. So I think that was my problem with the timing and the ignition and whatnot. Just gonna put the new plugs in first and try and start it, see if that fixed it. So here's the new one. There's a lot more distance in that contact there. So we used anti-seize on the last ones, which I saw as like a lubricant that you can over tighten these with. So I'm thinking, what if we over tightened it and it got so close that the piston actually knocked it a little bit. So I'm gonna not use anti-seize this time and not tighten these down too tight. Yeah, I don't want that to happen again. Perfect, but it's running. It wasn't running before, so that must have been part of the problem. Alright, I wonder how long that was happening for. I'm still gonna check the timing on the ignition just to make sure it's in the right spot. I might even retard it a little bit. We'll have a look. That's first. I was going to, oh, you might have just seen it. I was going to put the spark plug back, take it back out so I could get the compression stroke on the front cylinder for the timing. And but I haven't used as cheap a spark plug socket as the one I have right now. It came from an emergency kit. I think I'm just gonna put the old one that wasn't bent in this one's place until I go get a new one. So I jacked it up. We rotated the front cylinder to top dead of the compression stroke, should be. But we're gonna open the timing eye plug, the timing plug, I think it is. Pop that open and see if it's in the right spot. I'm sure I'll have to move it. There's a 2 dots, which I forget what that is, but that is not the line I need for the timing. So we're gonna rotate it a little bit. Ignition, doing the timing, that light. Let me see if you can see the mark. There you go. See how perfect that line is? It's perfect. To do the timing, you're supposed to just take it back from when that light goes off. So like right about, doop, right there. And then we're gonna tighten it down. And I think we're gonna make one little tiny adjustment. So the timing is complete. I don't know if I needed to do it or not, but I did it just to be careful. It looks like it is in a different spot. It's a little bit more retarded. Anyway, let's try it out. See if it goes well. Well, I should probably put the crank plug back in. Timing plug. I don't know. I think I found my problem. Sounds good. Needs to warm up, and I think the idle needs to be a little higher. I was aiming for like 800 or so. It's too low. It needs to be like 950 to 1,000. So I'm gonna try and by ear get it there. So there's one thing I forgot about, which is a new oil leak. This one is from, I think, the filter. We picked it up while we were riding on the trip. I think I mentioned it. Not much is leaking out. I think it's just the filter gasket maybe got crushed or something. I don't know. I probably put it on too tight. I think I've been putting it on too tight. Take that off. Redo the oil in the filter. Hopefully that'll take care of the oil, and we'll be ready to run again. Running pretty strong. I like it. I was gonna check the air fuel mix on the plugs, but I think I'm just gonna ride it out to the bar and then back, and then if it feels weird, I'll do the plug test. But it's running way better and stronger. It must have been just the gap was almost 0. And we're back. It's totally the same day. We're gonna go on a little ride. Oh, I also don't know how, but I knew there was an oil leak down there. Still, even after my fix, so I put some thread tape on the pressure sensor. So we're gonna see if that works. Okay, little choke. Oh, I think I need to address my clutch. Ready? Alright, let's go. Just kidding, we're back. So it still leaks. I figured it out. It's not great. Turns out my case is what's leaking. When it's running, you can see it. And I think I know what the issue is, being that screw up there is not all the way in, which is obviously holding the case not together. So let's tighten that and see if it fixes my oil problem. So after a long good time, I was able to get that bolt out because it was stuck in a nut that was way too small. And that's supposed to be attached to the mount, but it broke free because the bolt that goes all the way through does not fit this on the other end. So I got this as part of the mid controls from somebody else. Just need a nut to fit that, and then I can stick my case back together. I'm back. It's getting late, getting dark. I did not have a nut that fit, but shit, where'd it go? But I did have my old motor mount, and it has the threaded hole there. That ought to be the right size because it's the same bolt. Let's just replace the new with the old. Sorry about that earlier footage. I had, to get that done, I didn't want to stop. Got the front motor mount put in there. It's the old one. We have the new, from an older model, motor mount on the other side. And then that bolt is actually able to hold now though. So it should be holding the engine together so I don't leak. There's no new oil. That was from the last time. So let's see if it starts. Cool. Looks like it runs. Alright, let's get on the road. Yeah, so last night it was just getting super dark. I probably didn't get good footage of the finish there, but it was just replacing that motor mount with one that I knew worked. But even then, I don't know if it worked properly because the first one was too big for the nut that was welded onto the right side motor mount and broke it off. And so it was spinning free. And then on the second one, which is my original motor mount this came with, that bolt, I had to, it felt like I cut new threads with the bolt that went into it this time. It doesn't feel like it's the right size, but it fits the right size through the case. So it's a little strange, I don't know. Well, how else are? Hopefully it solved the oil leak, I don't know. I see a little bit of shine on there. I don't know if it's new or not. If I see any drips, I think I'll know. The question is, are we leaking oil? And the answer is no, we are not. Hell yes. Is this bolt right there. Wow. And that's what I changed right before our trip. So we were leaking that oil the whole trip. I am an idiot. Next thing we need to address is probably the clutch. Anyways, back to earlier.